I was having trouble with sabotage to my vehicle. This is the bucket I drained my transmission fluid into, and you can see there's some kind of sediment down in the bottom. And you look at the side where I poured the fluid out, and it's got a coating of some kind of dirt stuck to the bucket. I mean, it looks almost like sand. And I cut the filter open, and I'm going to show it to you what was inside the filter. This is a GM 4L60E out of a 97 model GM truck. And there's a bunch of trash in this filter. Appears to be bits of clutch pack and metal shavings. I don't know how well it'll show up here. First time I've cut one of these open like this. Okay, I just had an interruption, but I'm trying to get this where you can see the material on here. And these are some large chunks of something. Appears to be either parts of the band material or clutch packs. Not exactly sure. When I look at this, I can see a lot of glitter. I don't know how well it's going to show up. See, there's a large chunk of some kind of metal in the center. I'm just disgusted that I've had all these sabotage done to my vehicle. It's costing me a lot of time and money. The insurance company don't want to cover it because they're just impossible to deal with, looking for excuses. The grease and dirt in this transmission filter housing don't look that bad. It looks kind of normal. But I was really disgusted when I found dirt inside the transmission pan. This here is just kind of black. Real black.
Hello. I was looking through some video clips of a GM 4L60E transmission filter that I cut open for you. I showed you in my bucket that I drained oil into that it had sand in it, and basically the bottom side of the truck is clean. It didn't fall off the body. It was added to the fluid, and I cut the filter open. You've seen a whole bunch of black material on the filter media. That's basically metal chips and things. I didn't see a lot of dirt inside the filter, but my experience with that type of transmission is when you turn it off, the fluid drains back through it and flushes it back into the pan. I am very disgusted with State Farm because I reported this to them over a month ago, and it's taken them almost 6 weeks to send somebody out to look at it. And basically they snowballed me from day one. They come out and took samples of fluids that I've already flushed out. I serviced this transmission over a month ago, almost 2 months ago, before the other problems began to surface. They took a sample of my power steering fluid, and I just flushed it out 2 or 3 days ago. And when I have it tested, it's going to be just like the oil comes out of the bottle. It's not going to have any contaminants in it because it basically hasn't been run. The engine oil has less than 100 miles on it, so it was pointless to even sample it. It just has a few contaminants that was in the system from before, and it'll be within normal limits. This is very disappointing. I've got some samples here that I don't... Basically, State Farm told me that they could not accept the samples that I collected before the systems were flushed out. I've got engine oil and brake fluid that I took out of some of my vehicles. And I'm going to be sending them off to an independent lab for analysis. So I'm very disgusted with the claims process and the way they've demanded me to provide information to them that doesn't have any relevance to the problem here. I got a little bit of oil out of that filter when I cut it open, and I rub it in my fingers like this. And then I touch my fingers together to feel the viscosity, and it's very thin. And you just keep rubbing it in your fingers, and you can feel some grit to it. And that was oil that drained out of the filter while I was cutting it open. And the same thing was determined with the engine oil. Anytime I handled it before it was flushed out, it was had a grit to it. And it was my understanding that the claims adjuster, when he was messing with another vehicle that I haven't flushed out, he discovered a grit in the engine oil, and he wasn't very happy about that because it's a diesel and it's very expensive to repair. Happens to be a Mercedes-Benz. Anyway, this is a little bit about the transmission filter I cut open, and the fluid was diluted and it had grit in it. It's unfortunate that I don't have a sample to send up to the lab, but I do have the filter, and you'll see in my video clip here what contaminants was in it, and it basically comes down to the result of the fluid contamination is caused some heat problems, and the lubricating value was diminished due to whatever additive was poured in there. Thanks for your time.